Hey friends, Sarah here with The Holy Mess, and in this video, we are going to go over all the good stuff you need to know about the brand new Weight Watchers program for 2022 and 2023, as they have just made a new change that I think a lot of us are excited about. Well, I am maintaining a 100-pound weight loss, over 100 pounds, with Weight Watchers and have been for almost 2 decades. So I don't work for Weight Watchers. I am a fellow member just like you. I've been using Weight Watchers for many years and have had great success. And so I would love to talk to you together about the new plan. I also have some tips and hacks for things that are really helpful with using the 0 point foods that we all have now together with the plan. One of the great things is that we have that community aspect again together. So before we get started with talking about the details of the plan, I would love to hear from you in the comments. How are you feeling about the program change? Drop us an emoji and let us know. Is it a happy face? Are you sad? Are you a little bit nervous? Overall, I would say, judging by my readers, and get on my email list if you haven't yet. I email lots of really great Weight Watchers recipes and tips and mindset ideas to help you lose weight, get to your goal weight, stay there for the rest of your life for a lifetime. I've gotten a lot of enthusiasm. I think people are excited about the change. They're ready for it. Many people struggled with personal points, and so they're ready to do this. Not everyone, some people are nervous, but lots of people are excited. So I would love to hear from you in the comments. So, what is different about this program? Well, the two words that I have heard over and over from Weight Watchers are simplified and community. They are really going back to a more simplified program, and they are going back to community. So, the basis of the Weight Watchers program is points. Instead of counting calories, members count points. The algorithm for points is determined by Weight Watchers. That's not something that they share, that is theirs. But it leads members to weight loss through calorie reduction based on the point system. So every member gets their daily points, and that is calculated uniquely to you based on your age, your current weight, your gender that was assigned to you at birth. So that's how the points figures. Then you also get a weekly points allowance, and then every food has a points value. With the new system, all of us have the same 0 point foods. 0 point foods don't mean that they're 0 calories, but it does mean that they don't need to be counted. And Weight Watchers has figured that into the algorithm. So don't freak out thinking, but these these foods with 0 points, they still have calories. Won't I gain weight if I eat them? Generally speaking, no, because Weight Watchers has figured that out. What they have done is when they determine how many points you will get for the day and for the week, they're figuring into that several hundred calories of each day you're going to eat in 0 point foods. So, while is it possible to overeat these foods? Yes. Generally, for most people, they won't. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit more with some tips and hacks on the 0 point foods. This is what I would say when people have concerns that they're going to gain weight from eating 0 point foods. Judging by my personal experience and the experience of thousands of women that I have worked with through my website over the years, their problem is usually not the 0 point foods. These are very healthy foods that most of us have a hard time overeating. Can it be done? Yes, especially with some of the foods like oatmeal, and especially if you're like baking them into something. But generally speaking, most of us are not going to overeat these foods. Usually, when someone is gaining weight or not losing weight on Weight Watchers, it's not because of the 0 point foods. I would look at that and I would ask, okay, when are you not tracking? When are you overeating? When are you going off the rails? Are you having like, okay, the day after I weigh in, I don't really track anything, or I have a cheat meal, or do I go off track on the weekends, or do I not count my glasses of wine, or do I not count when I go out to eat? Usually, when you're not tracking, that's your problem, much more so than your 0 point foods. If you've got all of you're 100% tracking all the time, you're not going off the rails anytime. First of all, I'm guessing you're not really human because that's not me. I still go off the rails sometimes. But if that's what's going on and you're still not losing weight, okay, then maybe we can look at your 0 point foods. But generally speaking, I really don't find these to be a problem for most people unless they're doing something where they're kind of abusing it. Then generally speaking, it's not a concern. So the plan is more simplified that all of us have the same 0 point foods except for people who are diabetic, and those are somewhat different. The other thing is that because we all have the same 0 point foods, there's more of a community aspect. We can share a recipe and the points are going to be the same. So at the Holy Mess, we have hundreds of Weight Watchers recipes. Will they be updated for the new plan? Yes. I've already started working on that, so please be patient. We are a small team, mostly me, who will be doing the updating, but stay tuned. What's really great is that all of the links that I have on my recipes on my website, even though they say personal points, if you click the link and go to it in the Weight Watchers app, it'll be accurate for the new points. So if you have any of my products or want to get one of my products, like this is the Holy Mess Summer Weight Loss Kit, and it has like tips and recipes, road trip snacks. Here's a recipe for apple cinnamon overnight oatmeal. I give you the link. If you go to the link and click on it in the recipe card on the website, it'll take you right to the new points. But I'll be going through all the recipes and adjusting them for the points as well. I also have like the 7-day easy meal plan. All of this is really great for Weight Watchers members. Every single meal for every recipe. I also give the nutritional information. You can get these by going to theholymess.com/shop. I also have the super popular 3-day diet. This is what was featured in Women's World magazine. Those are all 0 point foods. I'm going to be going through that in the next few days, but you will love, love, love following the 3-day diet. And I also have a brand new Holy Mess plant-based 3-day diet that has just been released. And so you can do the regular 3-day diet or you can do the plant-based 3-day diet. And if any of these that I mention, if you don't see the link, just go to Google and type in Holy Mess 3-day diet or Holy Mess plant-based diet, and it'll come right up for you. Okay, so let's talk about some tips and hacks with the new plan. First of all, we're all going to be in it together. You can click on those links. Like I said, even if they say personal points, when you go in your app, it's going to be updated for the new plan, which is awesome. So any recipes that you've put in the past, any meals you've put in the past, mine for the Holy Mess, if you go to those links, they're going to be updated, which is a great hack to know. I wouldn't worry about tracking all your vegetables with the new plan unless you want to, and any of your 0 point foods, actually, for that matter. You can if you find that helpful, but I know one of the challenges for me, I'm a heavy vegetable eater, is that it was kind of a lot of work to type in all those vegetables because I wanted to get the additional points for the personal points. Now you don't even have to mess with that. Just don't track your 0 point foods if you're somebody who finds that the tracking really kind of gets you down, or you find that it's really time consuming. You just don't even have to mess with tracking those foods. Sometimes I like to just to have that that data of what I did in the past that worked really well for me. Speaking of vegetables, one of my really great hacks of how I maintain my 100-pound weight loss is that I start every meal with a bowl of vegetables. And it doesn't even sometimes match the rest of the meal. So like people ask me like, how do you eat vegetables for breakfast? Sometimes I work it into my breakfast, like I'll have a veggie omelet, but a lot of times I just eat it. So I eat whatever vegetables we have left over from the night before. So it might be a mixture of like, this morning, what I have this morning, I had zucchini and I had mushrooms and I threw a few beans in there, and it was just leftovers that I'd had from the night before. If I don't have anything left over, then I just do a bag of Steam Fresh. I keep lots of bags of Steam Fresh vegetables. Takes 5 minutes. Broccoli is my favorite, but I'll do green beans or like one of those mixtures, like a stir fry mix, just no sauce or anything on it. I just eat a bowl of vegetables every single meal, and I've just gotten into that habit, and it slows me down when I'm really hungry. It helps me be more full. Those are very low in calories, very low in calorie density, 0 points. And so then when I start eating the foods that are higher in calories, higher in points, I'm not as hungry and I'm slowed down a little bit. Okay, another hack for those of you who are upset that you lost your 0 point foods. So this is going to be your grains. These aren't 0 points anymore. So this is going to be oatmeal, brown rice, quinoa. If you're concerned about that, first of all, you can still eat those foods. Don't think that you can't eat those foods. You can eat those foods. And remember that most of us got more daily points. Not everyone, but 80% of members were going to get more points. So you can still eat those foods. You're just going to have to count points for them. But those are really healthy foods that are great for you to eat. Eat brown rice. Okay, it's going to be 2 points. Eat potatoes. It's going to be 2 or 3 points. That's okay. It's still so much better to eat 3 points in oatmeal or even 5 points in oatmeal versus 5 points in potato chips, because 5 points in oatmeal is very satisfying. Big bowl of oatmeal versus 5 points in potato chips is what, like a little mini bag? You're going to eat that and you're going to be hungry in 5 minutes. But a bowl of oatmeal is very satisfying. So don't be afraid of eating some of those foods that you found very satisfying, even if they're not 0 points anymore. Okay, let's talk about the over 200 0 point foods. I have a printable on my website of all 200 plus 0 point foods. So you can go to Holy Mess, 0 point printable. You can type that into Google and print that. Put it up on your cabinet. Even if you're not a Weight Watchers member, that is such a great list of healthy foods that are very low in calorie density that you want to include in your diet on a regular basis. I've already started on my love for vegetables. I'm a huge fan of veggies. I love them all except for green peppers. Not a fan of green peppers. But you can enjoy these foods. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are some of your favorite vegetables? Do you eat vegetables every day? If not, now's the time to start. If you're a picky eater, just start incorporating the ones that you do enjoy. What do you like? How can you include vegetables? Start to think about, how can I include vegetables every single time I eat? It will not let you down. Those are the foods that are lowest in calories, high in nutrition, so good for you. You really can't go wrong with vegetables. Next is fruits. Yes, you can eat fruit and still lose weight. The research has shown us that fruit is low in calorie density. That's why it's on the Weight Watchers list. Yes, it does have some sugar. It's not as good as vegetables, but still incredibly good for you. And this is kind of like the whole grains too. Wouldn't it be better to eat a banana versus eating a bag of potato chips or eating some cookies? So yes, they do have some natural fruit, but they also have fiber, they have nutrition, they have water content. So you're really not going to go wrong with fruit. The one exception to that is blending fruit into something that you drink. When you blend fruit into a drink, it has points, and with good reason. I'm really in agreement with that with Weight Watchers. I could suck down a smoothie with 4 or 5 cups worth of fruit in it, whereas if I ate 4 or 5 cups of fruit, I would be really full and satisfied. Your body does not recognize the calories in drinks the way it recognizes the calories in food that you eat. So even if it's blended into a recipe that you eat, that's still better than blending it into a drink. What Weight Watchers says is if you eat it with a spoon, you don't have to count the points for it. If you drink it through a straw, you need to count the points. Proteins. There's lots of good 0 point proteins. Beans, peas, and lentils. Yes, there is so much research out there about how beans are basically like the miracle food for weight loss. If you need some help with either how to incorporate beans or how to digest beans, go to my website. I have a blog post that's 45 plus recipes for beans. And in there, I have some tips too on how to help you digest beans better. But they are like the miracle food. Research shows that when people eat beans, they eat less in that meal, and not just that meal, but for like 24 to 48 hours after that meal. So soups with beans, check out the Holy Mess chili. It's in the 3-day diet. That recipe has been so popular, and I have a vegetarian version of it now. So that's the Holy Mess vegetarian chili. The beans in that are going to keep you full and satisfied. Just adding beans to another meal, like when I said those veggie mixes that I do, I throw some beans in there as well. Eggs are a great protein. Check out the banana souffle. That's a super popular one where you mix mashed banana and egg and it makes like a little souffle. Have them for breakfast. Have hard-boiled eggs on hand. I have a 0-point egg salad recipe and I have a 0-point tuna salad recipe that have hard-boiled eggs, and you mix it with Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise. It's delicious. It's super filling. Fish and shellfish, I just mentioned with the tuna. I also keep frozen fillets on hand. I do tilapia because it's got a really mild flavor. I can cook those in 7 minutes and they're ready to go. So the steamed fresh vegetables, the tilapia, boom, like there's a meal that takes less than 10 minutes instead of ordering takeout or ordering pizza or going through the fast food or, picking up some junk. That is super healthy and nutritious, and it's going to keep me going. Poultry. This is a great one. Check out the Holy Mess salsa chicken. That's a whole 0-point, like huge taco bowl meal. Another really popular one is the Holy Mess turkey and vegetable chili. It uses ground turkey breast. Can't do just ground turkey. You have to do ground turkey breast if you want it to be 0 points. If you find the flavor of that a little dry or off-putting, a really great hack is to put some Worcestershire sauce in it when you brown the turkey, or brown it with a little bit of beef broth, and that will give it more of that beef flavor without adding any extra points. Tofu and tempeh. Now, I know some people are like, oh, I don't know about tofu, but tofu is a really mild flavor, but it really takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with. So soy sauce, barbecue sauce, that can give tofu some great flavor. I actually really like tofu because there's just so much you can do with it. Yogurt and cottage cheese. So the yogurt is going to be your non-fat yogurt. It doesn't have to be Greek yogurt, but Greek yogurt is a good one because it has extra protein. So a fun tip is with the Greek yogurt, if you take a large container of Greek yogurt and a box of pudding mix, this one is cheesecake, blend it all together. That's only the points for the cheesecake mix, which is just 1 point per serving. It's delicious. It tastes like cheesecake in this case. You could do chocolate, you can do vanilla, and then top it with some berries. I also have a 1-point cheesecake that uses this or vanilla pudding mix, and it is so good. I also have a crustless pumpkin pie. Again, you're just going to type into Google Holy Mess and then cheesecake or Holy Mess crustless pumpkin pie, and those recipes will come up for you. Now, I will say, with doing some of these things, yes, these are 0-point foods, but you do want to use a little bit more caution here. I'm not really going to sit down in front of the TV and eat plain non-fat Greek yogurt because, yeah, it's really sour. But if you put some pudding mix in it, I could go to town with a spoon. So try to limit yourself to 1 or maybe 2 servings with some of those add-ins, just because it can make it a little bit more like a dessert where some of us could overeat it. I certainly can. I have a history of binge eating, compulsive overeating, so those are some areas where I do need to proceed with a little more caution. Fat-free cottage cheese, that's a new one. That one wasn't on the 0-point list before for everybody. So I'm gonna be curious to see. I love cottage cheese. A tip or a hack that I like to do is I like to stir cottage cheese into my oatmeal. Sounds kind of weird, but it actually makes it kind of taste like a cheese Danish, especially if you add some strawberries or something. So I'm excited to see how some of us are going to use the cottage cheese. I also just like to stir cottage cheese into a 1-point yogurt. Right now I really like Chobani Zero. Those are only 1 point for a cup, and then stir some cottage cheese in there. Maybe top it with a few nuts or a low-point granola. That's a really filling and satisfying snack or part of a meal. Another 0.1 is corn. So canned corn, frozen corn, corn on the cob, but also air popped popcorn. So I know a lot of people are really excited about this one as a snack. The one thing I would say about that is what we all tend to do is we add some sprays and some sprinkles. So like this is like butter flavored cooking spray. People have some different sprinkle-ons that they do. Like right now there's a cinnamon and sugar sprinkle that's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. These are okay, but this is another area where I'm gonna say proceed with some caution. Are you really gonna eat plain air popped popcorn all by itself? No, probably not, because it tastes like styrofoam. And it's okay to do some sprinkles, and yes, technically this is 0 points, but you know, what is actually in this? The first ingredient in this is soybean oil. This is a can of oil. So it's okay if you really do limit yourself to what the serving size is, which this says 1/4 second spray. I don't even think I could spray it for 1/4 second. So maybe just consider, if you're like spraying your bowl, maybe add a point, because really you are getting some oil. And then same with the sprinkles. Yeah, if you really just use a teeny tiny sprinkle, okay, but really what's in that jar of sprinkle? It's probably sugar. So if you use a lot of it, then maybe you do need to add a point or two. So that would be my caution. Those are some great tips and hacks with the new program. Check out some of the things I have, like the summer weight loss kit, the fall weight loss kit, the easy meal plan, the super satisfied meal plan. I have tons of resources on my website, hundreds of recipes, so many things that you can do. Check out like the 1 point cheesecake. But most of all, I want to encourage you, you can do this. You can use this plan. It's a good, solid plan. It's simplified. We have more of that community aspect because we all have the same 0 point foods, except for the diabetic plan. But even that, they don't have fruit as 0 points. If you're diabetic, you don't have the yogurt and the cottage cheese as 0 points. But you've still got lots of really great foods. And even if you have to count points for those are still healthy foods to eat. You just have to count a few more points. You can do this. I want you to type in the comments, I can get to my goal weight. I can do this. You can get to your goal weight and you can stay there for a lifetime. I think the Weight Watchers new plan is a great way to do it. And I am here to support you every step of the way. I am Sarah with The Holy Mess. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.